أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذي يذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين آمين رب العالمين. We begin in the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful, all praise be to Him. Everlasting and omniscient He is, and we send our peace and blessings upon Muhammad and his holy household, and our everlasting damnation upon their enemies. Ameen Rabbal Alameen. My dear brothers and sisters, we begin by sending our condolences to Sahib Al-Asri wa Zaman on the martyrdom of his uncle, Sayyid Muhammad, the son of Imam Al-Hadi, peace be upon him, the brother of Imam Hassan Al-Askari, alayhi salati wa afdalus salam. And we send our condolences to the Maraji' and as well to the Islamic Ummah as a whole on the tragic occasion which marks the martyrdom of Sayyid Muhammad, Sab Al-Dejayl. And inshaAllah, we will go into detail and provide you what you may call a short biography of this honorable Sayyid's life. And do not worry as well, we will tell you the reasoning behind why is he called Sab Al-Dejayl. So inshallah, stay tuned with us on this program. First things first, somebody may ask, then what is the reason for you, O Muslims or Shia, for reviving such an occasion? Even the Shia themselves may be at question in this matter. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, what does he say? He says, Shi'atuna minna, khuluqu min fadili tinatina wa ujunu bima'i wilayatina yafrahuna li farahina wa yahzanuna li hiznina. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, peace be upon him and blessings be upon him, says that our Shia are from us. They were created from our essence. They were molded from the same mold that we were molded from, with our wilayah, our divine authority. And then they, because they come from the same essence as we, the Imams, peace be upon them, then they are happy and joyful when we are happy and joyful. They are in suffering and they are mourning and performing lamentation when we are performing lamentation and mourning, and when we are suffering. These are our true Shia. And since Sayyid Muhammad is a perfect and one of the most honorable exemplars when it comes to the Imams alayhim salam, we thought that for the first time there isn't, if you go look right now, material, for example, when it comes to material about Sayyid Muhammad alayhi salam in English, you won't find any material, unfortunately, about him in English. You will find mostly in Arabic or Farsi concerning Sayyid Muhammad, peace be upon him. And the thing is, even a program such as this, yes, there might be one or two lecturers that I have heard myself make mention of this honorable man, especially when they come and talk about divine authority, about wilayah, and they give an example of how wilayah, this divine authority has such weight and importance. They usually bring the example of Sayyid Muhammad and how the Ummah, for example, all of the Ummah, the Shia, the majority of the Shia thought he was the Imam and not Abu Muhammad Al-Askari alayhi salam, because of how honorable, because of how pious, because of how God-wary he was, peace be upon him. So what we have for you today is, we call it a short biography, because really when it comes to the information that we have on this man itself, it's limited alone. So we are trying our best to provide to you a short biography, inshaAllah. And of course, those who have come for ziyarah, those who have come to Iraq to do ziyarah, the sacred pilgrimage, those who have come, for example, in groups. Some of the bigger groups, for example, what do? They start with Najaf and Karbala, and after Najaf and Karbala, they will go to Kadhimain and visit Imam Al-Jawad alayhi salam, Imam Al-Kadhim alayhim salam. Then they would approach Samarra, and no matter which individual, no matter which pilgrim that comes, this pilgrim must, on his way towards Samarra, on his way towards Al-Askari alayhi salam and Al-Hadi alayhi salam, they must pass by the city of Balad. And that is where the grave site of Sayyid Muhammad, peace be upon him, lies. Now the date today, the 28th of Jumada al-Thani, the martyrdom of Sayyid Muhammad occurred either on the 28th or 29th or 30th of Jumada al-Thani. As for the exact date of his birth, we do have a year, but we do not possess an actual date in terms of the month. But inshallah we will go into detail as we go on. So of course we said his name, as Sayyid Muhammad ibn al-Imam al-Hadi ibn Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam. He is the honorable Sayyid who was the son of Imam al-Hadi, the brother of Imam Hassan Al-Askari, and he would also be an uncle or a great uncle to Imam al-Mahdi al-Muntadhar ajallahu ta'ala farajahu al-Sharif. And of course, very, very close relationship between him and Abu Muhammad al-Hassan Al-Askari alayhi salam. And like we said, he is buried in Balad, which lies approximately 45 kilometers from the city of Samarra, or as the olden days it used to be called, Surra man Ra'a. Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, let's begin with Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam. Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, according to the traditions, it is stated that Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam had 4 children. And these children were, of course, Abu Ja'far, Sayyid Muhammad, who is the oldest son of Imam al-Hadi. Put that behind in memory, and it's important that you have that saved with you. Then of course there's Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan Al-Askari, peace be upon him, who is the 11th Imam. Then there is Ja'far, who is known amongst the books of Hadith al-Rijal, those who study Hadith and tradition, and those who study the outcome of men and basically the traditions of men, and those who narrate and give biographies of the different individuals over the course of history. He is known as Ja'far al-Kadhab, and that's also another discussion. Then of course there is a son by the name of Hussein. And Hussein, when you go visit Imam Al-Askari and Imam Al-Hadi, Hussein is buried with his father and with his brother, with Sayyida Narjis and Sayyida Hakima, all in that house of Al-Askari, peace be upon them. Of course, when it comes to Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan Al-Askari, we know that Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan Al-Askari is the Imam, no need to introduce there. Ja'far is a whole different topic of discussion. Sayyid Muhammad, of course, who is also known as Sayyid Muhammad Hirzuddin. You can say that either it translates to the protector of the religion, or the one who protected himself from the negative effects that may have affected his religion. Then there's Hussein, and Hussein was really loved by the father of Al-Hadi alayhi salam, and really loved by Al-Hassan alayhi salam. It is narrated that Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam named his children Hassan and Hussein because of his love to his grandparents Hassan and Hussein. And of course, Hussein is also one of those honorable, God-wary individuals who were very pious and who had fear of Allah. And Sheikh Abbas Al-Qummi in his book Muntaha Al-Amal, volume 2, page 637, narrates about Al-Hussein and speaks about his honor. But my dear brothers and sisters, inshallah we will be taking a short break, and we will be coming back to you in order to continue this biography in the life of Sayyid Muhammad ibn Imam al-Hadi, peace be upon him. Thank you, stay tuned. Welcome back, my dear brothers and sisters, to this journey that we are taking in the life of the Sayyid Muhammad ibn Imam Al-Hadi, peace be upon him, the son of Ali Al-Hadi alayhi salam. So we mentioned Al-Hadi alayhi salam had 4 children. These 4 children were Hussein, Ja'far, Hassan and Muhammad. 4 children that he had. One of them who was in Balad, Hussein alayhi salam, and of course his brother Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan Al-Askari in Samarra. And then there is Ja'far Al-Kadhab, who's known as Ja'far Al-Kadhab, whom we're not really sure where he's buried. And his outcome, some people say that he repented and some people say that he continued. But he was one of those people that weren't as God-wary. And he was one of those people who had a closer connection to this dunya, to this world, instead of a closer connection to his Imam, to his brother, in order that he gain the humble abode of paradise. Now let us move into some of the characteristics of a Sayyid Muhammad Sab Al-Dejayl. Sayyid Muhammad, he is known for, like we said, honor, royalty, knowledge. He was abundantly knowledgeable when it comes to Quran and tafsir of the Quran. He was a man who understood what it means to have an Imam, which is why he gave everything for his father and gave everything for his brother, to the point, of course, that this was the result of martyrdom. And like we said, his honor, his piety, his knowledge reached a point that the Shia, the followers of the Ahl al-Bayt alayhim salam, as well as the non-Shia from the enemies, from Banu Abbas for example, and from the spies of Banu Abbas and the government of Banu Abbas themselves, they thought that he was going to be the Imam after Al-Hadi alayhi salam would pass. To that point, his honor and royalty was to the point that even the community, the Shia or non-Shia, no matter who you are, al-Mukhalif or Mu'alif, thought that he is to be the Imam after Al-Hadi alayhi salam. That alone is more than enough to testify to the fact that this man was truly a man of honor, truly a man of knowledge. And he reminds me of 2 other individuals. He reminds me of Al-Qasim ibn Imam Al-Kadhim alayhi salam, whom also the Imam loved him so much, his father, whom also the Imam alayhi salam wished that Imam be in him, and we mentioned this before. But of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who chooses Imam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who ordains Imam. Then he also reminds us of the loyal brother of Hussein alayhi salam, Al-Abbas, Abu Fadl Al-Abbas. And of course Sayyid Muhammad emulates his grandparents. He emulates Al-Qasim. And he takes exemplar and he takes examples from his grandfather Al-Abbas alayhi salam. And this is the result. The loyal brother of Abu Muhammad Al-Askari and son of Al-Hadi alayhi salam. Now, what occurred after the martyrdom of Sayyid Muhammad? We're jumping a little bit ahead. Why? Because we want to talk about wilayah, about divine authority, and how divine authority is ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not by mankind. The following hadith, we have mentioned this before. And those who were with us when we were in Samarra on the 8th of Rabi' al-Awwal and the 7th of Rabi' al-Awwal, when we visited and we broadcasted live from Balad and Samarra, and we mentioned some of these ahadith, we wanted to show you how the ummah was confused, why the nation and the followers of the Imam were so confused. All of a sudden Abu Ja'far died. They all thought he was the Imam to come. The hadith is narrated by Shaykhuna al-Saffar in Basa'ir al-Darajat, and he says from Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Marwan al-Anbari, he says قال كنت حاضرا عنه كنت حاضرا عند مضي أبي جعفر ابن أبي الحسن عليه السلام فجاء أبو الحسن فوضع له كرسي فجلس عليه وأبو محمد قائم في ناحية فلما فرغ من أبي جعفر التفت أبو الحسن إلى أبي محمد فقال يا بني أحدث الله شكرا فقد أحدث فيك أمرا. What happened here? This man by the name of Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Marwan al-Anbari says, I was present when Abu Ja'far as-Sayyid Muhammad, the son of Abu al-Hasan al-Hadi, peace be upon him, passed away. My master Abu al-Hasan al-Hadi had brought forth a chair and sat on it, while his son Abu Muhammad Al-Askari was standing by his side. When Abu al-Hasan completed the funeral processions of his son Abu Ja'far, peace be upon him, he looked at his son Abu Muhammad Al-Hasan Al-Askari, and he says, O son, give thanks to Allah for what He has decreed, for He had made this important matter rest upon your shoulders. And Al-Allama Al-Majlisi says, فَقَدْ أَحْدَثَ فِيكَ أَمْرًا. He says, أي جعلك إماما بموت أخيك الأكبر قبلك. That Al-Majlisi comments on this and says, by this he means, the Imam means that he had made you, O Abu Muhammad, the Imam. Allah made you the Imam by taking the life of your older brother, whom? Sayyid Muhammad. And Sayyid Muhammad was the oldest of the Imam's brothers. That means that wilayah, and we mentioned this before and we will keep on mentioning this again, this divine authority is not something that is inherited to the oldest son. We see this, for example, in a Sajjad alayhi salam, who wasn't the oldest son of Al-Hussein alayhi salam. We see this now again with Sayyid Muhammad, who was the oldest son and he did not gain imam. In fact, it was given to whom? To Abu Muhammad Al-Hassan Al-Askari alayhi salam. This also tells us the fact that the ummah, the narration has many conclusions. First of all, it tells us the following. It teaches us that imamah is not something that is inherited. It teaches us the fact that Sayyid Muhammad had such a high rank amongst the Shia community at the time, to the point where they thought he was the imam to follow. To the point there's a man here named by a Nawfali. Now imagine the situation. Imagine this man by a Nawfali, he's standing by Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam, and one day Abu Ja'far Muhammad ibn Ali Al-Hadi, Sayyid Muhammad, passes by, and Nawfali thinks he is the imam. So he tells him, he says, Ya Mawlai, is he the imam after you? He's like, no, the imam after you is my son Al-Hasan. The confusion was to that point. So this really by itself gives us the answer that we need. Do we even need more than this to tell you how great this man was? We do have, for example, his grave that is visited by millions every year. Yes, it was difficult in the last couple of years because of the issues that was happening around from the enemies of the Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them. But still, this man is a man of honor. And the shrine that we have today gives us the result. We see the result of his honor. We see the result of his piety and his sacrifice. As we look upon his shrine and we see the many believers raising their hands in dua, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by His right and receiving that request. This is still the beginning of our journey in the life of Sayyid Muhammad, peace be upon him. But stay tuned, because inshaAllah in the upcoming episodes we will go into a little bit more detail, speaking more about this issue of wilayah. And following that we will speak about whom? About his mother, Sawsan. And following that we will speak about the location of his grave, and so on and so forth. So stay tuned with us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.